everyone. Welcome back to Susan Dawn's Spiritual Connections. Welcome to a brand new Soul Path reading. Here's what's interesting. I sat down to do the first of the 2024 year ahead readings today. I have the year ahead readings available now for booking on my website. They're a limited special reading that's going to be available for booking until January 15th, and then it's going to be done. So if you're interested in that, check it out. But I sat down to do the first of the readings today for a client, and as soon as these cards came out, I immediately began to feel the collective readings. What's also interesting about that is I've had the Soul Path reading on my mind, wanting to do a Soul Path reading without any idea of what that Soul Path reading would be, but just feeling like there was something that was coming through for collective energy, for the soul's journey. And so as soon as these cards came out and I began channeling, it really felt collective. So my client can certainly take this as it resonates for her journey as well. And we're going to start over and have a new spread for her. But I really felt this energy collectively, and the further along I got, the further it got. And so I want to do the Soul Path reading to kind of see what is this energy, what is it that we need to know with regards to our soul growth journey. Whether you're a masculine or a feminine, remember that we have both energies within us. And you can take the energies for any of the readings for how it applies to your own inner essence, your own soul, or this energy is felt collectively because we're going through a global ascension. So we have the card Yin, which is that feminine energy. We have Between Worlds, and we have Go the Distance. And I had recently channeled and just posted this about the Divine Feminine. And again, take it for the Divine Feminine within you, whether you consider yourself a core masculine or a core feminine energy. And also remember that this is affecting the global collective as a whole. There is an ascension that is happening, a huge healing, a remembrance, a growth that is happening within the global collective. It might look like a clusterfuck on the physical 3D plane. There might look like there's so many tower moments and chaos and pain and suffering. It's a global purge. It's like a collective purge that is happening. I can tell you guys that I'm seeing it with my very eyes in my own family members who are going through their own ascension process in their own way. Everybody has their own path up the mountain, and everybody has their own time and does it in their own time and in their own way. But I'm seeing it, and I'm seeing the ripple effects. I'm seeing it in how they are beginning to engage with other people, especially when there is drama and chaos that is experienced in their physical experience. It's very interesting. I'll probably talk more about that maybe in days to come. But it's very interesting. There is absolutely a global ascension that is happening. And so take it as it applies. So I did a Divine Feminine Energy update, a Divine Feminine Energy channeling, and I want to read that here. You can also read it on the community tab or on my social platforms. And I shared the Divine Feminine is inwardly focused at the moment. We've been channeling that for quite a few months now. This is an internal process that may have begun at the beginning of autumn and will continue a little beyond the new year. On the physical plane, this might look like rest, nurturing of the self, continuing spiritual studies, or returning to meditative practices within a secure and grounded energy. The Divine Feminine is much more anchored into herself. She is embodying this groundedness while also being very highly attuned and connected to her higher self and spiritual essence. When socializing, there's a focus on one-on-one connections or a desire to be among soul family. That's those who are on the same frequency and in which the bonds of emotional intimacy and depth of connection can be nurtured. On an energetic level, this is both a preparation and an activation that is happening simultaneously, and those who are especially in tune with themselves can feel the anticipation and the shifting of timelines as you continue to expand in all ways. For some, you may find yourself preparing for changes within your physical life, though you may not be consciously aware of what those changes will entail. Trust the inner guidance you're receiving and embrace where you're being intuitively led. You may not have all the puzzle pieces just yet, but when anchored within faith, you don't have to. Come the first 3 months of the new year, A palpable shift will be felt and possibly even seen with a, quote, sunburst of expanded energy and potential. And that's what we've been channeling. It's like there's this circle, and we're in the center of that circle, kind of going inward in like this hibernation energy. And what it feels like is just going to be like the spokes of the sun or the spokes of a wheel or something. It's just going to be this burst of energy. It's this rebirth. And we've been channeling that in the Sacred Union energy updates. So I do encourage you guys to check those out as well. And then we chat a little bit more with regards to those in counterpart connections. And this is not going to be a counterpart reading, but this might resonate for you as well. We shared, when it comes to those in sacred partnerships, the divine feminine is moving forward with peace and love in her heart. She understands love without conditions now and is embodying this more fully. She has released expectations to outcomes and attachments to the physical need. This is coming from a deep sense of inner trust and faith in her alignment. I do want to say now, there might be some wobbles, and that's kind of this between worlds energy, this transition energy that you might be feeling. A new path is unwinding for her, and with greater curiosity and excitement, she's beginning to step away from the door of the past and enjoy the journey with a much lighter sense of being. The door is open when it comes to her counterpart connection, whether this is someone from the past or someone new, but she's no longer standing within the threshold, getting drawn into old cycles of herself and connection. So the door's open, but she's not standing in that door. She's not waiting. She's kind of moving forward along her path. This journey has been a gateway into a higher sense of self and connection to the universe and oneness. And while her soul's evolution continues, she's found her way home. So that being said and that being channeled, what I was getting here is a lot of feminine energy. And I feel like 2024 is going to be that feminine energy. And they're just drawing me to 2024 comes to a 6 number, which is that feminine essence. 2023 was that 5 number, which carries a masculine energy. At least for this channeling, it carries a masculine energy. And that masculine energy was a groundedness and a change. I feel like there was a focus on the masculine for 2023 and that ascension, their growth. And this could be your inner masculine. Remember, we're looking at this from the whole. We're not looking at this from a counterpart connection. We're looking at this from that oneness, from that union, from that whole, especially that union within the self. And you can have the kind of like draw it backwards and bring a wider perspective to how the world is kind of being affected by this, how you're seeing this within the world as a whole. So I feel like there was really a more masculine perspective, and the 2024 really feels like a softer feminine anchoring in that is coming through. And if you're applying this to masculine and feminine energies, and that union, inner or outer, then I feel like there's more of that honoring of the feminine from the masculine, because the masculine is beginning to rise within their own feminine or understand their own feminine essence, that the feminine within them is not something to push away, but is something to be honored. And for a masculine core, somebody who is really in their masculine essence, their conscious masculine, let's say, the more that they honor the feminine without competition, without division, without a sense of animosity or judgment or control or manipulation or any of those lower vibrational energies or lower conscious energies, the more they consciously honor the feminine as a whole, within and without, the more their inner masculine rises, and the more they anchor into their core masculine energy. Masculine core conscious masculine energy is somebody who is confident, and this is a difference from arrogance or ego. This is an internal confidence because it is stepping into one's authenticity, knowing oneself, connecting with themselves on a core level, recognizing your value, recognizing your worth. And your value and your worth might be different from that of the feminine value and the feminine worth, but it's both balanced, it's both equal. That's that union energy, right? And you honor both. And if this is within yourself, you're honoring both. Masculine energy is stable. Masculine energy is secure, providing that security. A masculine energy provides, not necessarily in materialistic ways, although the masculine is very anchored into the physical realm, but provides the container for the safety and the security of the feminine. And so that's some ways, and you can obviously, do more research on your own, and look into masculine and feminine energy and what all that means if you're new to this. But that is all conscious masculine and feminine energy, and that's part of our ascension, the balance, the union, the oneness of the two that we have not seen on this planet. And so, especially in 2024, we're moving more into that feminine energy. Now, they keep showing me a picture of Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift having or becoming that woman of the year. And Taylor Swift, you guys know I've never called myself a Swiftie, but I have really grown to admire her as a person and as an artist, as a creative myself. I know the internal struggles and the internal challenges that comes with the artistic creativity, especially when it comes to writing. I don't write music, but obviously, like, when it comes to writing. And for her, she's really balanced that out within herself, and she's a brilliant businesswoman. She has cultivated that within herself. She has a beautiful sense of balance within her with regards to the masculine and the feminine energy, with regards to taking action for herself, standing up for herself, with regards to providing for herself that sense of safety and security. And when we're talking safety and security, it's to be her authentic self, to be her creative self. But she's also that divine feminine energy, which is the fluidness, the flow of energy, especially the flow of creativity. She has ideas and she then implements them, or she cultivates community and cultivates, she has a lot of business partners and a lot of people, a team who helps to create that for her. So for her, it's on a grand scale because of her trajectory and her life. You can apply that then to your individual life, and you don't have to be doing what she's doing. Obviously, you can apply it on a much smaller scale and look at it from a sense of your own support team, your own or your own sense of security within yourself, and your own sense of community. And it's like, the more authentic you become and the more anchored into that authenticity, the more you come into that connection and that place of balance and that place of alignment, and the more you have that around you. And going back to that support energy, this could be your friends and your family and your soul family, and it could be just people who are helping you within the human experience, the lived experience. It doesn't have to be a business. It doesn't have to be a creative pursuit, although it can be. It could just be, maybe it takes a village to create a family. Maybe it's, soul family who are helping you to raise your children. Maybe it is friends who are nurturing the essence that you are, who are just so unconditionally loving and supportive of you. Your friends being that soul family, your friends being that community. So apply it as it resonates to you. It doesn't have to be on that grand scale, but she is really showing us like that template, which I think is amazing and beautiful. And I feel like all the action and the work that she's done with regards to like her tour and everything was really indicative of 2023 and that 5 number, that masculine energy. And I really feel like we're going to see a softness come in 2024. I really feel, maybe not just for her, but I really feel like we're going to see a more of a focus on the creativity. And it's interesting, like with regards to her relationship, she's able to soften more. Because her partner is able to give her that container to soften more into that feminine energy. Now, she has that for her business and her enterprise and stuff like that. She has that within herself, obviously. But I think we're going to see a more personable energy with regards to her. I don't mean to channel Taylor Swift, but she's an example. She is a example of the balance there. And so I feel like 2024 is really going to see an honoring of the feminine in a new way, in a softer way. And when I say softer, I do not mean weaker. That's the difference. I do not mean weaker. We usually equate masculine with strength and feminine with weakness, and that is completely wrong. Not opposite, because there's strength in both, and it's honoring now the strength within the feminine that she had been denied. And I feel like if you are a male or a masculine energy, it's about recognizing the strength within your own feminine that is not in competition with your masculine strength. It makes you even stronger as a male or as a masculine energy. to honor the feminine in her strength, because you both bring something new to the table. And when you are in that balance and when you're in that oneness, it's just amazing. It is powerful. It is palpably powerful. Now, I also saw a meme recently that said that there are years that question and there are years that answer. And that resonates so strongly with me because I feel like that's what 2023 was. I feel like 2023 was a year that asked a lot of questions, and it asked us to ask questions. One of my favorite channelings I've ever done was on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections, my sister channel, called Crisis of Faith. And it was a couple of years ago where I was really battling myself and my faith and having some doubts with regards to God, God's source, the universe, stuff like that. And what was brought through in that channeling was that questions are powerful, because questions are what create our evolution. Asking those questions with a natural and healthy curiosity, not questions for questions' sake, but with a natural and healthy curiosity, is how we allow ourselves to expand and be open enough to receive the answers. And so if you have been in kind of this energy, this black and gray kind of energy, this blue grayish kind of energy, if you've been here this past year with a lot of questions, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know where I'm headed, but you brought yourself into a place of neutrality, where you brought yourself into a place of balance, where you brought yourself to a place of peace with those questions, with that not knowing, that faith that we talked about for the divine feminine energy, then I feel like 2024 is going to have a lot of answers for us. Again, male or female, doesn't matter. If you're core masculine or core feminine, doesn't matter. This is a reading for everybody. Okay? We're not creating division here. This is a reading for everybody. Take it as it resonates for you. We have both the masculine and the feminine energies within us, and we bring that into oneness, we bring that into union, we bring that into balance, and that is what our inner work is about. And that's what coming home, they're saying, is all about. You're coming home to yourself in that wholeness and in that oneness. And so I feel like we might be here a little bit. It's not quite the transition and transformation of the past. For a couple of years, we were channeling that journey's end, right? That one phase of the journey was ending and a new one was beginning. And we have been in that transition energy for a while. I feel like it's not quite that. I feel like we've been seeing the seeds of the new. We've been manifesting. We've been, really seeing that change within ourselves. It's not so much that kind of transition energy. I feel like we are in the new. We are in the new timeline. We are in the new energy. We've anchored into that. This is going to feel more of an anchoring. It's like this. That visual that I shared with the doorway in that channeling that I just read, how the divine feminine is, she's not standing in that doorway anymore. She's on the other side of it. Well, that's that portal. That's that gateway. That's that new. You have moved into a new level of yourself, of your life, of your journey. And we're talking your soul's growth journey, your evolution. Whatever that journey might entail for you, you're in the new. And now it's like you're walking along that path now of the new. So there might still be remnants of the past, but you're approaching it differently. And it's almost like as some past energy might come up, whether that's situations, whether that's circumstances, whether that's connections or relationships, you're going to be approaching it differently, maybe interacting or engaging with it differently, because you are in a new energy. And so for some, there might be some closure of that old energy, or there might be a reconciliation of that old energy. And what I mean by reconciliation is there could be a mending or a healing that brings whatever that situation or connection or relationship or circumstance, it's going to bring that, it's going to lift that into a new frequency too. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to leave that there. What I like about this is the last card that we have is Go the Distance. Go the distance. Immediately is this energy of success and victory, and it's like this is where you've been. And look at this cheetah kind of like shedding some aspects of the old, right? Shedding some aspects of the old, but still solid. still solidly in who he is. That's this energy here. It's like you're still solid. In fact, you're even more so. You're just shedding that which no longer serves you. It's all energy. And the more we begin to see everything as energy and as frequency, the more we begin to understand and allow ourselves to move into the new without holding on so much to the past. For me, that has been one of the biggest trials of my life. I've always been somebody who has a difficult time letting go, maybe out of sentiment or nostalgia or loyalty and devotion. But you carry with you all the lessons, all the experiences, and especially all the love. But you yourself move into a new frequency and a new energy. You're still you. I think I had talked about this in a reading one time where it's not like there is this cutoff, where it's like there's a before you and an after you, and you're a completely different person. Yes, it might feel like you're a completely different person because you're in a completely different energy, but you still carry those aspects and those versions of the past with you because there were lessons or there was love or there was, experiences that you had. You're not cut off from the person that you were. You just learn to integrate that which you were into the new, and that's where you release the fear of letting go. You release the hold that the past has on you. You allow yourself to say, okay, that was in my past, and now I am looking forward to the new. And again, remember the importance of presence, bringing yourself to the present moment, and that's where you find the peace. But you allow yourself to integrate those versions of yourself and what you've learned from those versions of yourself into more wholeness. It's more. You become more, not less. And I think that when we let go, we have this fear because it's like, what am I losing? There's this fear of losing and becoming less. But you become more. You allow yourself to let go so that you can become more. And think about in terms of relationships too, right? It's like as you release old relationships that are not working or are not healthy, you move into relationships that are aligned with you and that are healthy. And it becomes more, right? It's more love. It's more, maybe affection, more devotion, more just healthier, more communication, more fun, more adventure, more, maybe you have family together, whatever it is, it's more. But if you're still tied to the past and holding on to the past because you're afraid of losing something, because you're afraid that if I let go, it's going to be less for me or less than for me, in whichever way that applies, then you're holding yourself back from something that is truly beautiful, that is aligned with a new version of yourself, that is more. You don't lose anything when you let go. You carry and integrate those energies with you and those experiences or relationships or those feelings with you. You integrate it so that it becomes more. So I feel like there might be some transition energy, and I feel like this message is coming forth now because we also had the card clean it up, and this is when I began channeling. Clean up your vibration. Clean up now. Become very present. Anchor into that presence and kind of allow yourself to prepare for this. For myself, it's like I see this in how towards the end of the year, I'm doing all this cleanup and organization and strategy for my business so that when the first of the year rolls around, it's like a reset. I feel fresh. I feel refreshed. I feel like my business gets new life breathed into it. So I feel more motivated for whatever it is that I'm creating, or whatever it is I'm doing. And so the end of the year is always a cleanup kind of energy for me. Apply that as it resonates to you. It's all energy. Everything is energy. So clean up the vibration. Even business has a vibration. Your house has a vibration. Your relationships have vibration. Your relationship to yourself. Whatever this is, your career, your work, whatever this is, your projects, whatever it is, allow yourself to clean up the energy of it. Clean up the vibration. If there is something that still feels like it's lingering, find some closure. Do some healing, do some mending. I'm just getting drawn to, I have a whole playlist of light language transmissions that you can use to kind of work on the energy. If there's something specific that you feel like you need to work on, you can check those out at Susan Dawn Ascension Connections. All of those are free. So just clean up the energy. because that is going to kind of give you a fresh start for the year ahead. Now, remember, energy does not affix to the rules of time. So it's all fluid, but you start now, especially if you feel like there's something new that is being birthed, something new that is being born. In order for you to level up and go the distance, you start now. This energy does not come without cleaning up the vibration, without cleaning up the energy. Without cleaning up your frequency. This letting go, this shedding old versions of the past, or this releasing old energetic signatures, to become that stable, steady wholeness, it does not come without doing the work of cleaning it up. So that's how you go the distance. That's how you level up and really shift into new timelines and new frequencies, is by cleaning up. And that's what this transition, the gift of this transition period is for, because you're stepping out of the old and there's nothing back there for you. This might have felt very bright and blue and beautiful in the past, because that's where your consciousness was. That's where your frequency was. But as you continue to rise higher and higher in frequency and shift, then it's like the past, there's nothing left there for you. There's nothing there anymore. So you have to move forward into the new. And it's like that's the doorway, right? It's like not standing in the doorway, because then you're just holding yourself in stagnant energy. You're just holding yourself in resistance. It's allowing yourself to go along the path and just see what new adventures kind of await, just kind of exploring, what's to come. You don't have to know every step that's ahead of you. You just have to trust the path. And so you don't keep looking back, because it's like this is closed out. There's nothing there. You carry all that with you. Like, you see, like you're still you, but it's a new version of you that requires a new timeline, maybe new life in some respect, changes in your life. It's a new version, and it's bright and it's exciting and it's beautiful. This is a transition you're in, so just keep cleaning out and cleaning up the vibration, the frequency of the past, so that you can fully anchor it into the new. Okay. Let me know if this resonates for you. I do plan on doing a 2024 year ahead collective reading. This is not it. We're going to do that as a deeper dive closer to the new year, so make sure that you guys stay tuned for that. And if you're interested in booking your own 2024 year ahead reading, make sure that you're checking out my website, susandonspiritual.com. I am sending you all so much love, so much light, and we'll see you soon.